class of rebels, cause you know we came to blast when we smashed the metal. Brooklyn, that's how we doing it. Brooklyn, that's how we doing it. Brooklyn, that's how we doing it. Brooklyn, that's how we doing it.
Hi, everyone. How are you doing? Welcome to the On Everything podcast show. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on this Friday. What's going on, Gene?
Yo, what's poppin', y'all? That's right, we love the On Everything podcast. This show is about to be lit. I'm so excited today. We've been having a great week. How's everybody's week going?
My week is pretty good. What about you, Sonny?
It's going pretty well. I can't complain. I cannot even complain. Glad to be here.
I want everybody to know we have Miss Sonny Lubin Holder here today. She is going to be getting us right in so many areas of our finances. We're so excited to have you here today. I'm so thankful that you decided to put your schedule aside just for this hour so that we could have you and so that we could get all of this information. We let everybody know this is free information, and then you can give us more, detail on how people can contact you and take it from there. So we're so excited about the show. So again, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So this is Sonny. So Sonny, as we are speaking, why don't you tell us a little? First, let me tell you, you guys, because she's going to tell us a little bit about her background and where she's from. But I do want to let you know she is a financial literacy coach and she's a financial lifestyle strategist. So she will explain to that what all of that means to us.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ella. Thank you so much. Thank you guys again for having me. I'm just so blessed to even be invited. So the applause. I love it. Yes, I am a financial literacy coach and financial lifestyle strategist. I help people basically figure out what their plan is going to be. What do they want to do? What do they want to accomplish? And how they're going to get there? So that's just a snippet of what we do. But that, just in case anybody was wondering.
Okay. Nice. And so what we want to talk about, I know we have a lot of areas to cover. If you all are excited as we are about this, because I need to learn about my own finances and things that I can do, please call in the number on 929-441-2417. That's 929-441-2417. And you can also put whatever comments in the chat that you have for Sonny. Whatever is on your heart financially, please put it in the chat. So Sonny, one thing I want to know is when people are seeking out financial literacy coaches or somebody to help them with their finances, and I know you cover broad areas, what are some of the major areas that you cover, and can people get it in any state that they're in? Because we have people all over, and we also have people listening to us on iHeartRadio and in the car, so wherever they are.
Absolutely. So I'm personally licensed in 14 different states. But I do have agents in 11 different states, and our agency is actually nationwide. So even if it's not me in particular that's helping you out, we will always be able to have someone that can help you all across the 50 states, including Puerto Rico. So we are all over, and we can definitely help anyone across the U.S.
Okay. What kind of services do you offer? Because I know that families have a variety of needs in a variety of areas, and they might have multiple things, whether it's their finance, whether it's life insurance, whether it's investments. Do you do anything like that? And if not, let us know which ones you do so that our audience can see where what you target.
Absolutely. So I'm a licensed life insurance agent. So the products and services that I offer are not variable at all, but we do offer life insurance products like term policies, whole life policies, index universal lives, as well as ROP terms, return of premiums, and guaranteed universal life. So these are all the different various types of life insurance policies and products. We also offer fixed index annuities. And these products are all life insurance contracts, and they all help people in one way or another to build wealth. It's just a matter of what do they need. Our products are always customized. So whatever you need is what you're going to get. It's not a one size fits all kind of shop. So we try to make sure that everybody gets a customized solution.
Okay. So when I think about life insurance, because I know that people make investments, right? Doing different things that are not life insurance, just investments. They do stock markets, mutual funds. But I also know, and you tell me if I'm correct, Sonny, that people have life insurance policies, maybe multiple policies, because it provides that life insurance for the family, right? Should something happen. But isn't there something like, is there a cash component or something where their money could also grow? And how does that work?
Absolutely. Yes, yes, yes. So you already a little knowledgeable there, Ella. Yes, so there are definitely some policies, and those are what we call permanent policies. Those are the policies that are going to have a cash value as well as a death benefit that is going to pass on to your family. And so that kind of brings me into that whole conversation about generational wealth, right? So it's a term that gets thrown around a lot, but what is that really? Is being able to pass down assets to your family. And a lot of times in our communities, people don't get the chance to do that. And so life insurance is that vehicle that allows you to be able to pass down generational wealth, because you're not only passing down money, cash value from a life policy or the death benefit, but it also allows you to hold on to the assets you've accumulated over time, your houses, your cars, and other investments, because at the end of the day, taxes is a big problem. And taxes is a problem that when people pass away, that's where the family starts to lose things, because they can't afford the tax bill. They lose the whole thing, or they just have to sell the thing because they're not able to make that tax payment. And so that's a big part of it, and a big, a way that it can be used to help people maintain that wealth that they accumulate, and be able to pass it down without that burden on the next generation.
Okay.
Wow.
I have a question. Jean, you have any questions right now for her?
No, go ahead. Ask your question. I'm right here.
Because
I'm locked in. I'm ready to learn something.
Yeah, I'm learning. You see, I have my notes. I'm not playing. But when you say about the house, that's how it ties in. So let me ask you this. Thinking about the clients that you've had, past and present, what is an example that you can give to us, to the audience, just like in layman's terms, like as an example of maybe a client or a situation where somebody can have a benefit? And the reason I'm asking, because people think of life insurance as that's just all it is. Okay, I'm gonna buy. If you're not savvy in that area, I'm just gonna buy life insurance, and I know that once something happens to me, my kids will get it or my spouse will get it. But there's so much more you can do with it. So what kind of example do you have where people can say, oh, it's not just life insurance, it really truly is an investment for these certain things?
Yeah, so life insurance now it's got so many additional benefits. So like you said, you can definitely grow some cash value in there and be able to use that for supplementing your retirement. You can use it to invest in other things, right? So that's one way. That's not one.
Somebody
That's
music?
in on the show.
Caller. Hello, caller. Welcome to On Everything.
Caller?
There,
Hello?
Don't be shy.
Maybe they'll call back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Sonny.
Yeah, so I was saying about, the additional benefits of life insurance. Yes, life insurance, people think about it, oh, when I die, that's when my family's going to get it. They don't realize there's so many other uses for it, other reasons that they can use it. And the main thing really is accelerated benefits. And what that is, those are the benefits that allow you, if something happens to you, have a heart attack, stroke, cancer, you can actually draw against that life insurance policy while you're living. Most people don't know that even exists. And so they'll go into hella debt because they don't realize that one little payment you could have been making all this time could have helped you. Now you have a place to draw against $500,000, $200,000 to help with medical expenses, living expenses, and anything. There's no limit on what you can use those funds for. But then outside of that, you can use those funds for retirement, supplementing. You can use it for college. So you have kids going to college, you can have children's policies, and those policies grow in cash value once they reach 21 or 18, or when you want to use the money. Use it for college, for funding a business. Your kid is, they want to be an electrician. All right, let's start the electrician business, instead of just going straight to work for somebody else. So there's a lot of different ways that you can use life insurance. And building wealth, it's a misconception. People think it's just for death. And really, it's a huge tool. It's a huge tool.
And yes, and a huge tool for life insurance, because most people, I wonder if most people are thinking like me. Gene, you can let me know. I don't know. But when I thought about life insurance, it was just that. Even when they said like Bill's cash value, you really didn't know what that meant. You always just said, okay, I'm going to pay the premium. All I know is that, you know, my kids will get it or my parents. But then when I started seeing people who are getting multiple policies, and I'm wondering, are they using this as an investment? Like, could I use this? So like Sonny, we have, hi, Nakia. Thank you for joining. And then Sean said, of course, yo. But then we have Monique. She says, when I consider life insurance, I'm thinking down the road. So is that something, do we think about it? How early should we get life insurance?
As soon as possible. And it's actually, if we can get policies on our children, that's the best time to actually start getting policies when you're young, because we never know what's going to happen over time. And so a lot of times people say, oh, wait, when I have children, I'm going to wait until when I'm in my 30s, or I'm going to wait until I have that big job, or when they're always waiting. And so with what we do, we make sure there's no barrier. Whatever you can start with, that's what we're going to start you with, and you can build on it. And so that's the main thing is really to just start, because that's the challenge. Most people wait. And then if something happens now, that challenges their insurability. Maybe now they got a little sick, they gained a little weight, you know, things aren't working like they used to. So don't wait. If you're healthy right now, and even if you're not going to get any healthier, right? You're not going to get any younger. So right now is the time to get insurance. People are worried because it's like the cost of insurance. But we're going to work with you. You know, if you get with the right insurance agent, they're going to work with you. Whatever your budget is, they're going to get you into a policy to make sure that you have coverage. And that's the most important thing.
So we talk about like, is it like 18, 21? How young can you get it?
Look, once you start working, you should have a policy. That's just what I think.
Okay,
you know?
So like in your 20s, early
you start
20s.
working, get a policy. If you have children, get a policy for your children, because like I said, we just never know. You know, I had a client that got insured, you know, a young person, and they were at the time they were like kind of thinking, oh, maybe I don't even really need this. You know, it's not that important. And then not even 2 years later, they're now having to consider like, well, what happens if I die? Because now they have an illness. Now they've been, you know, diagnosed. And it's like, okay, now what if you didn't get insurance before? You wouldn't qualify now with your situation, right? So, and we're talking young people. So we just never know. We don't know what's going to happen down the road. So get the insurance right now. If you're thinking about it, don't think about it. Do it now. That's why my company, Legacy Impact, is today. You do it today. Don't procrastinate. Don't wait, because it's that important. You know,
and then
so for the for the younger people out there, like, what's the best kind of life insurance to? Because I know, you know, like there's different ones, like, you know, for different situations. So for young people, what would you say is the best kind of life insurance to invest in?
The best life insurance is the one you can afford. Okay. That's across the board. It doesn't matter how old or how young. The one that you can afford is the best one to have, because that's the one that's going to stay enforced, which means when you pass away, it's going to be something left to pass on. If you get any type of life insurance that can't be covered, right? I mean, that you can't afford, then you run the risk of having a no payment, right? You miss a payment, you miss a couple of payments, and then you have no policy. You have nothing to show for it. You know, so you want to get into something that you can afford. That's going to be a no matter what cost. That cost basically says it's like the cost of eating, right? So it's just tacked onto your eating budget. You got to eat. You know,
exactly.
You can't just like throw a number out there and be like, oh, I'm going to do a $300 policy, but you're not even buying $300 worth of groceries a month. Listen, that might be a challenge. You know,
you got to be ready for that. Absolutely.
You have to be ready. So, but it's what you can afford. If you can afford $20 a month, start with $20 a month. You know, and when you get policies for your kids, you can only start with $10. Start with $10. You know, but it really just depends on the budget. And that's why that's the first thing we do is the financial lifestyle strategy. We come to, you know, we definitely get together.
Strategy.
Yes, because like you said, you I think when we were talking earlier, you had mentioned, you know, the budget. That's like the big thing. I got to get all the expenses together. I got to figure it out. That's the baseline, because we got to know what's coming in and what's going out, so we can help you determine what that number is that could be comfortable for you. Right. So that's a part of the plan. That's a part of what we do.
And I'm glad you said that. That brings me to, because Sean said, what if you miss a payment? And I just want to send a shout out to Rosie. She said, yes, having a policy for our children is setting them up for the future. Absolutely. And Sean said, so you mentioned that miss a payment. And this is where I think people get nervous, because they think, okay, just think about our parents. If we really didn't know, we just know they have a life insurance policy. And so I don't know how much they really teach about life insurance policies as much as they teach about investing in mutual funds and stock. I feel like I hear that more. And so people don't really know the value of the life insurance policy. But say I've been paying the policy for 5 years and you miss one payment and then they take the whole policy.
So it depends on what type of policy you have, what insurance carrier. There's a lot of unknowns there.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, most insurance carriers are going to give you a lapse period. They're going to give you a time to make it up. So you might miss a payment, and then they're going to send out their letters. They're going to make their calls, and they're going to try to reach you so that you can catch up. Right. So most of the time you have like a 30-day or a 60-day window to recoup. But yes, if you miss the 30 days and then you don't make a payment, you don't make contact, you don't attempt to do anything, then there is a possibility you could lose your policy depending on what type of policy you have.
Oh, that sounds like caller.
Another caller.
Yeah, it sounds like we got another caller. Hello, caller?
Yeah, this is Bob Baker calling with the Internal Taxation Service. How are you doing today?
Taxation
How
service.
can I help you?
How can I help you? Okay, so I have no idea what that is.
Okay, scam likely. I don't know.
Scam, hello. So we'll move on.
You guys don't have the
That sounds like something. That sounds like something I would definitely do to somebody's podcast. But that is hilarious.
And that's why I be like, how can I help you?
Yeah,
We should have said that. We should have said this is Sonny's place of business. How can I help you? How can we direct your call about life insurance? What would you like? Okay.
Would you like some life insurance today?
Yeah, would you like some life
Yeah,
insurance?
exactly.
What kind of policy? Several policies. See, I'm going too much into it.
Yes.
But Queens, hey, the Queens are here. Thank you for coming through.
Hey.
Yeah, the Queens are here. So this is my question, and then I'm gonna ask Sean. I saw some life insurance policies. This was a whole life. So a friend of mine, I don't know if she went with it or not because it was just too much. So she's in her early 40s. So the policy that she was showing me, I know there's a lot of variables that go with it, but it said something like maybe $40 a month, but then you had to tax after they said, times this, times that. It looked like the whole life policy was about like $200 a month. And then, Sonny, this is what I'm concerned. As you go up, she said, as you went through the, age 80, 90, it went up to like $400 or $500. Is that correct? And then how are you supposed to be able to pay at 80 or 90 years old, like $400 or $500 policy? And this was just one policy.
Yeah, it's definitely a policy that exists, but maybe not the right policy for her.
Okay, because they have policies that are just like my mom has a policy.
We have level policies where you pay the same amount for a certain period of time, and there's even policies where you stop paying after a certain point, and the policy pays for itself. So the interest on the account definitely continues paying for the policy. So all of that is so important, right? Because most people don't realize they don't look at those illustrations with a fine-tooth comb, and so they kind of like sign on the dotted line, and then they come back and say, "Oh, wait, what happens at age 60? I'm going to be retired. I don't think I want to be paying that kind of money for life insurance at that time." So that plan may not be the right one, and that's why I say it really comes down to the goals. And you got to go through everything step by step, and then say, okay, where do you see yourself at this point? And how would you like to be, doing what you have to do? So absolutely, that's a big problem, because a lot of people who bought policies many years ago, that's the plan that they got into. And not saying that's the only one that existed then, but that's just the one that they got. And so in those cases, sometimes it makes sense to look at your options, explore your options. You can actually sometimes trade up your policy for something else that works better for you, especially if this person is young. If they don't already own that policy, they should certainly explore other options that will give them like level payments and also policy cash growth. So
okay, and that cash growth, I think that's the hook, because that thing is important, because a lot of people don't know, or if they do know that you can, there's a cash component to the policy, they don't know what it means or how to use it. We have Terry Clark saying so informative, and Sean says this is a good question. People with chronic issues. So he's saying, so people with chronic issues can't get life insurance, or what about people, this pre-existing conditions is big right now.
Yes. And pre-existing conditions, chronic illness, all of that is determined by the underwriter whether or not the person is going to get covered. Unless we're doing like a final expense policy where it's not really taking too much into account your illnesses, unless it's something that's really severe. But in general, most people can get coverage. They already assume they're not going to get covered, so they don't even try. And so it's always worth it. Ask the question. You got to ask the questions you want the answers for. So I want insurance. How am I going to get it with asthma? Okay, let's work on it. How am I going to get it with this problem? Okay, let's work on it. So it's just a matter of submitting an application. We're pleading on your behalf to get you insurance with the insurance carrier. That's what a really good agent is going to be doing for you. They're going to be trying to work with you. So they're going to try to get you covered. That at the end of the day, that's our job. So it's something that we say, give it a try. Once we go over those different illnesses, we call the insurance carriers. We ask them, hey, I have this client who has these illnesses. Are you able to cover them? Sometimes they'll tell you right away, no. And then other times they'll say, yes, it's going to cost a little more. So at that point, let's see what we can do. Right. So and then now with COVID, absolutely. COVID is another big issue right now, because with COVID, it's kind of changed how they're underwriting, how they're looking at certain things, certain, illnesses. And also just in general with life insurance, because it's based on how healthy you are, how old you are, what other illnesses you have. So now you throw COVID in the mix, which, it's going to impact your lungs and things like that. So if you already have an issue that's impacting your lungs, a lot of times what happens, you'll get insurance, but you may not get some of those added benefits. Like I was talking about the chronic illness riders. They may not include those, but you will get the death benefit. You will still be able to have cash value growing in your policy, things like that. But they may exclude the chronic benefit because you already kind of have one, or you're very much likely to have one in the near future. So, for those reasons, they might, just decline that part of the policy. But it's always good to try. Always good to try.
Yeah. Gene,
that
do you have any questions?
No, I was gonna say that good old underwriting, like
good old underwriting. When you're trying to get a loan,
we're sending it to the underwriter. I know who the underwriter is like the cloud.
Like soon as I hear underwriter, I just start praying. I'm like, God, in the name of Jesus,
Sometimes you just got to leave it in the underwriter's hands.
Yes.
But we have to try. That's what it is. You got to try. You got to try it out.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. Like a lot of people get intimidated by like creating a bill, especially when you're younger. You just look at buying life insurance as, oh, that's something I could do down the road, or that's something I don't have to think about now. When I get older, I'll look at that. When I hit 40, when I hit 50, But what are some of the benefits or some of the things that you would say to encourage younger people to invest in life insurance?
Yeah, I would definitely say the younger you are, the least your cost is going to be for insurance. So get started early, because like I said, we don't know what's going to happen in the future. If you already have a policy, even if you start with a term policy that can convert to a permanent policy, it gives you that benefit of, number one, not having to go back to get any medical done. So if something does happen, you could still qualify for a long-term policy without going back to get a medical. So start with a term. That's encouraging, because people, a lot of times, like I said, the money is a barrier. They think, I can't afford it. But you could get a term policy for $10, $20. I wrote a policy the other day for $14 a month. So it's just what, like I said, what you can afford, and for young people, a lot of times they think I got plenty of time. But, we, especially now, we have so many different epidemics, right? We have drug use, all these different things. And not saying that, we want to put anything like that on anyone, but those things do impact whether or not you can get insured. And so rather than wait, get it as soon as possible, because in our communities, people don't get insured in time. And that's what happens. A lot of times families are left with holding the bag. So just the earlier, the better, be responsible. Really, that's what it boils down to. You want to be grown, get some life insurance.
Exactly. See, we go from that, I'll wait till I get older, till just never doing it. It never happens. Sometimes I think that the best way, to do things is to attack it as soon as possible,
as soon as
get
possible.
right to it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just like when they say, well, when should I start saving? You have money?
Today. Exactly.
Yeah.
When should I get life insurance? Today.
Now. Do it now.
Do it
And
now.
That's the same thing Rosie said when she said, why do people insure their cars and their phones, but not their lives? Lack of knowledge. But it really is like everything we're talking about, you guys, is just so that you will be aware, because we've all been in the same boat. We've all had to learn about, life insurance, and, I didn't know I need that. And somebody needed to tell us and inform us. And I think people just don't understand, because I didn't. Before I got my life insurance, I had no idea about the cash value. And if I did, I never thought of it in that way. I was just like, let me just pay my premiums, because it was always if something happens. And I think people look at that. And I think there needs to be, and Sonny, you tell me, like a different approach, so that we're not looking at it like, as soon as you mention life insurance, people think, okay, death, so I need a plan for my future. How can we start to look at it a different way, as like, no, this is an investment for so many different things, so that we can get buy-in for people just to come and receive that information? Do you feel like it's like different tactics that agents need to do, or commercials, or media?
I mean, I think for sure we definitely need to have a lot more media on it in general. But right now it's a really hot topic, just financial literacy in general. And I think we just need to, basically apply the iron while the fire is hot, because people are talking about it with COVID, with people losing their jobs, with people on unemployment, with all of this stuff going on. Finances is like top of the line right now. Everybody's talking about it. And so we just need to keep talking about it. Just like you having this podcast, this is like kicking off something. Somebody's going to hear this tonight and say, ooh, let me call. Let me find out. Does my mother have life insurance? Does my father have life insurance? And those conversations are going to start. So we need more of this. We need more of this in the community, where people are actually listening, because the news is on 24/7, but half the time I turn that off. But if if there's a podcast, now we have Clubhouse, there's all these different mediums for people to listen and hear about information. And now we just have to get it out to the people. And so one of the things that we do is a weekly workshop. We have multiple workshops each week where we just educate. That's the first thing we want to do. Financial literacy is just that. It's knowing the information that's needed to make the right decisions for your finances. And so coming out and just getting on, it's a Zoom workshop, so people can get on from their homes, from their cars, on their way to work, on their way home, whatever, and be able to listen in and just learn about, how does money work? How do these insurance policies work? How do I do that? And then at the end of the day, when you say money is a barrier, we also offer an opportunity. We say, hey, this is a way for you to, there's a way, if you find value in insurance, you found value in talking about money and helping people to get up on their feet. Hey, why not make money doing it? Why don't you get a license? Why don't you become an agent? Make some extra money and put it right in your policy. Help your family to get more information about this, because it's only so much that I could do. But when I can help somebody else to be able to learn about this stuff and share it with the people in their community, now we're really taking this. We're taking it much further, right? So that's a little bit about how we can do that. We have to think bigger. We have to think bigger than just me. It's like, who else can I educate about this, that they can go and educate somebody else?
Yes, each one teach one.
Yeah, and like at the end of the day, it's like, it's intimidating sometimes and overwhelming. Like, I'm just speaking from my own perspective, because sometimes I've put it off too in my life. Like there was a time where I'm like, I'll do that later on down the road, until I actually had to, buckle down and do some funerals. And I'm like, whoa, like I better take care of this. Like I had to
Yep.
do funerals with, people who didn't have life insurance. My mom, she had
Mm-hmm.
life insurance for most of her life because her job
Covered
covered
it.
life insurance, but then she got sick, she stopped working, and we never picked up on any other life insurance.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And that's
unfortunately, when she passed away, we went calling around, hey, where's the money?
yeah.
Where's the life
Where is
insurance?
it?
And there was nothing. And,
Yeah.
just going through that process, it was kind of, a wake up call because, like, the last thing that I would want to do when I pass away, I know it's going to come one day, but when I
Mm-hmm.
do, I don't want to leave my family with a bill.
Yeah. That's
Like I don't want to
me.
leave them, I don't want them to do a GoFundMe to do my funeral. I don't, like so on my end, I just want to make sure that, my I's are dotted and my T's are crossed. So, I think that a lot of people, like we look at it like, oh, that's the end game, life insurance. Like, oh, I got to think about that later on. But
Yeah.
that's something that you could invest in. You could actually, I believe, you can take loans from it, right? Like you could do
Yes, you
all kinds of
can. You
things.
Yeah,
can.
that's what
Yeah.
you're saying.
There's so
So,
many other things. So yeah, we could definitely pick that up.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's definitely another nugget. I'm sorry to hear about your mom, but absolutely,
yeah,
that's something that we have seen so many times. And so yeah. Oh, we have another caller.
we do.
I think it's a
Or is it a
you
chat?
heard something? It's a chat. They
Oh.
just blowing up the chat.
Yeah,
So we're
the
gonna
chat
take
going
yep.
crazy.
We're coming to like the half mark, Gene.
We're at the half
Sonic,
mark.
we will be back. That's what I'm saying. We can all that went
Quick.
fast. I know, and it's so much information. So this is an excellent show. Please come back and join us. We're going to take a quick break with Miss Sonny Lubin Holder, financial literacy coach.
Thank you.
Yes,
Looking
absolutely.
to
We'll
podcast
be right
shows
back.
and do not know where to start? The Evening Rush Network can help you with that. Call us at 929-441-2417 or email us at theeveningrushnetwork@gmail.com for dates and prices. We got you for all your podcast needs. The Evening Rush Network. Tune in, subscribe, and share.
And we're back. Boy,
I know
that
you're
was
trying
a
to take that drink.
boy,
I know.
that was a quick one. Oh man. Yeah, so again, we're back. We talking about financial literacy with Ms. Sonny
Yes.
Lubin
Lubin.
Holder.
Oh,
There we go.
Oh, yeah.
I got you.
that ain't doing
Yeah,
like he's
so-
in church. Hold on. I thought he was gonna do the church finger.
And God said, aha. But yes, yeah, we're talking about life insurance. We're talking about just all things money right now. So for people who are not financially savvy or literate, what would you say is the best way to get started on learning about it?
I would say you should join one of our workshops. Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Thursday at 6 p.m., Saturday at 10 a.m. Get on one of those workshops, learn more about money. You're going to learn the three ways money grows. And like I said, you're going to learn about the types of life insurance and how they work. So, and then from there,
how do you get to your workshop? Like, how do you sign up?
Okay, so absolutely. I will. So first of all, they can reach me on Instagram. That's probably the best way to contact me. And then right on my links on Instagram, I have a booking link. Also, people who want to get out of debt, there's some information there. And then I also have an email capture page. So they can send me a quick email, basically put their email in. They'll get all of the information for when the workshops are going to take place. When they do that. So they can do that. And then just send me a message, DM, get in the DM.
Oh, that's
Send me a message.
Get
Let me
you
know.
on
I
the
want to be in the
DM.
next, I want to be in the next workshop.
Yes.
So that's the best way. But absolutely. Those workshops are going to get you a lot of information. Besides that, I mean, everyone's like a Google student, right? So there's a lot of information on Google. Okay.
Yes.
But Google is just information. So a lot of times people will go on Google, and then when they sit with me, they have some questions. And so that's where I can
Yes.
help them, because now they've done a little bit of their own research. They think they know, certain things. And so it's like, I got this off of Google. So it's really important to talk to an expert. It's really important to talk to somebody who's in the field, who's licensed, and not just going with what you've seen on social media or on the internet, right? So whether it's me or someone in my team or just someone in general who is a licensed agent, sit down with somebody who can give you some of this information. But you can certainly get some of those basic things like we talked about. The 3 ways money grows is a huge knowledge base that basic, but people need it. They need to know that. And so absolutely.
The 3 ways money grows.
3 ways money grows. Any idea? What are the 3 ways?
About this. Tell us about it. Yeah.
Tell me.
She's like, I'll tell me.
We could go through savings, investment.
So your 3 ways are going to be, and this is the way your money is going to grow, right? So the first way is fixed. These accounts are going to be like your bank accounts, your CDs, your money market accounts. Your money is insured there. You know when you have it in the bank, $250,000, it's going to be covered. The next way is going to be variable. That's going to be your stocks, your bonds. I mean, not your bonds, but it could be some bonds too. Your stocks, your variable accounts, your 401k, your employer-sponsored accounts, 401k, 403bs. And then you're going to add your IRAs. We could throw in Forex, right? Because that's all the rage right now. Bitcoin.
Everybody's doing Forex. I don't know what everybody.
It's variable. At the end of the day, it's knowledge. But when you throw your money in there, you have a risk of losing it. Okay. And then the last way is index. The last way is index. And what happens with index, these are index universal life or fixed index annuities. And your money is basically growing based on an index like the S&P 500. So with the S&P 500 being something that, the stocks, 500 stocks on the stock market, the big ones, Amazon, Google, Tesla, the big ones, right? As those companies are growing, the market is growing, your account value grows. So when you're indexing something, basically what it's doing, your account is doing. But it has a cap on it. So that's the only drawback with the IUL. Those index accounts is there is a cap. So you can see the market doing 25%, but you're only getting 9.5%. But that's okay, because when the market drops 30%, you don't lose anything.
Right.
Okay. So that's the benefit of the index account. And so those are the 3 ways that money grows. And you would see it on a beautiful chart. You'd be able to see how those growth patterns work. You'll see those ups and downs on the variable account. And you can see the heart attacks that are happening for people and the ones that have happened in the past. Okay.
Yes, I got caught. Listen,
people lost money.
I just got caught on the Dogecoin bubble. Like,
the Dogecoin.
Yeah, because they said, get it.
I bought it going up. I made
and then it took a tumble.
And then it just said, I'm just like, this Dogecoin is the ghetto. Every day I open my Robinhood account, I'm like, this is the ghetto,
This is horrible.
There was somebody who made $1 million on that Dogecoin.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. They must have caught it at the right.
Some people definitely made money.
They made money, and then the rest, I don't know. And then too, you got to get it when the time is right. You got to, know when to get it, and how do you know? It's that part is stressful.
That's the part where I don't even want to be involved. So that's the part. Like I said, I don't have a license that can lose people's money. So that's why I'm a licensed life insurance agent. I do with guarantees. Okay, I'm not losing anybody's money in a life insurance policy. The ones that I offer. So I'm clear on that. I'm here for the people.
Wait a minute. So there are life insurance policies that you can lose money on?
Yes, absolutely.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Tell me about
variable. If it's in a variable type of policy, then you have a chance of losing money, because when the market goes down, when the policy goes down, you're losing money. You had this much today, and tomorrow you have this much.
Oh my goodness.
So yes, and there are people who have those, and what happens there is that now they have to pay more money, right, at the end, because their policy didn't grow as they expected it to. And so some of those same policies we were talking about earlier, if someone has one of those and it's variable, there's a possibility at the end they need to continue funding that policy because they didn't make as much money as they had expected. And they don't have the benefit of the guarantee that says you can't lose anything, because that's not a part of that contract, you know? So it's important to know the different types of policies and different types of coverage you can have. And those variable ones are variable. That's exactly what it is. It can go up and down just like the market. So you don't want to necessarily
That
be in
is
that.
crazy.
That may not be the only place you want to be saving your money if that's the case. Yeah.
Listen,
So it's gonna be a problem for somebody who that's all they were. That's it. That's all they have. You know, all eggs in one basket, and it was the wrong one.
We have got to learn how to diversify. That is that
diversification.
We have got to learn how to diversify. And real quick, before we move on, we have to give a shout out to our sponsor, Sayings by Butter. Thank you, Sayings by Butter. We're wearing her gear now. She does all the gear for the show. So thank you, Sayings by Butter. You know that we love you. But so many questions in the chat. We do have one where we were talking about Forex, where Sean said, what is 4X?
He put 4X. He put 4X for real. Like,
I know he put 4X.
I mean, that's hilarious. Yeah.
But
I can't speak too much about what, you know, I'm not a part of that organization, so I can't speak too much about it. But I do know that it is something that people use to invest. And when they do, they're investing in trading. They're trading, basically. Yes, exactly. And so they're putting their money on a line to, you know, bank on, this is going to do well and I'm going to make some money here. And if it doesn't do well, then they lose money. So you can certainly blow an account with that.
They got a lot of people harassing people. I'll tell you that. Every day, I kid you not, at least twice a day on my social media or somewhere in one of my inboxes, one of my DMs, I'm getting, hey, I'm a Forex trainer. You want to learn how to make money? I'm a partner with this. I'm a spokesman for Forex. And I'm just like, no, you know? No.
Forex, Bitcoin, all that.
Everything has its place, right? I'm not going to say it's a horrible place to be. You know, it just really depends on what your goals are.
And if that's your
where
thing,
you are, where are you financially that you can put money on the line? Because that's literally what you're doing.
Yeah.
And if you're that type of person that deals in that, and that, you know, you are that type of person.
You're in the high risk category. You're like, okay, I could afford to do that. I want to do that. That's my thing. Absolutely, have at it. Me, I'm a little too grown for that. I don't have time.
Yeah, we don't have time.
And, you know, like they're talking about like Bitcoin mining, like, you know, I'm just like, okay.
So I don't do any of that. Like I said, we're in guarantees over here, so we are in
guarantee only, everybody.
Guarantees only.
So we have So Sean said he's got life insurance through his job, or for anybody who has life insurance through the job, but people are telling him that it's not good. Now, I don't know if that's a difference, because life insurance policies are different, right? Because I had life insurance through my job. That's a good policy. So I guess it just depends on what your job offers. But even if they offer that, right, Sonny, shouldn't you be looking at other life insurance policies and still diversifying?
You always want to own your own policy. You want to own your policy. And even if you are able to get a policy that you are paying for through your job, meaning you're getting the group rates and you're able to, you know, benefit on that, you're still going to be challenged when you leave that job, because it's no longer going to be a payroll deduction, right? So now they're going to say, okay, well, where's this payment coming from? Sometimes they don't let you transfer that. They don't let you transfer it because you're no longer a part of the group. Other times, absolutely, you're going to transfer it, but you're not going to pay the group rate anymore.
Right.
You're going to pay the current rate for that policy. You're going to pay market rate for it. And so if that's the case, why not just have your own? That's already level. You already know what the bill's going to be when you leave the job, whether you stay at the job, no matter what it is. And the job coverage really should always be something more supplemental, because the job is not permanent, right? We don't ever expect to die on our jobs. We want to be retired at some point.
Exactly.
We'll leave the job and then do something else, right?
Right.
So we know that. So why would we then put our life insurance in the hands of the job? You know, that's something you want to be able to carry it with you no matter where you go. Whether I decide I want to work private, I want to work public, I want to work here, I want to have my own business, I need to have my own insurance, you know?
Yes.
So that's what it is. If your job has coverage, absolutely always take the free stuff. Don't leave the free stuff on the table. You want to always take that, but make sure you have your own. Make sure you have your own, because the job could also wake up today and say, we're no longer offering insurance. They don't owe you anything.
That's right, because you did it. I mean,
cut
most
costs
jobs
and
did
say,
it for free.
we're not offering that. We're not offering it anymore. And now
Yeah.
you have no insurance. And now if you have somebody with pre-existing conditions, where you going to get your coverage? So just get your own, and then whatever the company is doing, that's great. It's extra. It's an add-on.
I will say that one thing, because we talked about that, and I know we covered it throughout this show. But it's bringing me back from what you just said. That pre-existing conditions is really, I think that might be too where people don't want to really talk to an agent because they know their premiums might be higher, and they don't really want to tell everybody what's going on. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's a lack of trust, and then you don't know if this person is telling you the right thing or just trying to get your money. It's so much lack of trust out here, and especially now after COVID and people trying to sell and scam and this, that, and the other. And some people are doing life insurance, some people might be doing Bitcoin, some people might be doing whatever. And so what could somebody do if maybe they could just I don't know if they can call it anonymously, or if they have a whole bunch of pre-existing conditions or something where they feel like they may not qualify, and that may be the only barrier. They may have the money to pay, but I know I need it, but I don't know because of what I have, or I don't know.
Well, it's just a conversation, just like anything else. You just say, hey, I'm interested in getting coverage. This is what my issues are. Give me the list of prescriptions you're on. We literally are. We're not going to tell them, Ella is asking about insurance. We're going to tell them, female, 30 years old, lives in Brooklyn. This is her, these are her issues. Okay.
Yeah.
And then they're going to tell us yes or no.
Yeah.
Submit an application, don't submit an application. Or we will see based on what additional information we find. Because the insurance carrier is going to go ahead and get your medical records if they need to. They're going to do all of that. And so, you just have to leave it up to them. And we're gonna really be trying on your behalf to get you coverage. So if there's we know which carriers to go to. We know which ones are going to work with the client that has this problem, the client that had been to jail, or the client that had done this, or the client who did that. We know which carriers to go to.
Going to jail will affect your life insurance?
Yes, it will.
Yes.
Oh,
but
my goodness.
Depending on why you went to jail, how long you've been there, whether you're on probation, all of those things count. And absolutely. So
what if you go to jail and then you're out? Or what if you had life insurance before? No. What if you
that's how you should get it before you commit a crime. You should have it, because they're not going to take it away from you.
Get out, but what if you get out? Okay, you served the time.
And you want to start a brand new policy, and you just committed a felony, did 10 years. Yeah, it's going to be a while before an insurance company is going to give you coverage. It's going to.
Know what? Wow. You know the bad thing about that, Sonny, and I understand, but that blocks out a whole bunch of our population right there.
Yeah.
Just because of whatever you did. And then you're coming home, you're trying to get a job and all that. And I know we're not, that's another show about,
that's a whole nother show. That's another show.
No, I'm just like, dang, I just wish, what are these people going to get who wants to have life insurance? Like maybe there needs to be something for that. Like they want to be covered too. Like how is that work?
They might still be able to qualify for an annuity. So that's basically something they're paying up front for, right?
Yeah.
They're paying it. And the insurance company is going to hold their money and grow it for them. And if something happens to them, they do still have the death benefit. So there are some instances where those are going to be the solutions, right? Where you're basically self-insuring because you have these types of issues. And so an annuity is actually a good place to start for someone who has either health challenges, or like you said, they have a background issue, maybe, stuff like that. So again, everybody's situation is different.
It's different.
So they actually pull your... They actually pull your criminal background.
They pull your records. They put, like, if you have a DUI, nope. You're running red lights, and you got a lot of moving violations. That's a problem. Moving violations. Yes, I've had clients get postponed policies because they didn't obey by the vehicle, their laws, the motor vehicle laws. So it could be something so simple. And this is why I say get it early. When people say to me, well, why do I have to get it now? Because if you run a red light tomorrow, you can't get insurance for 2 years.
Oh Oh, are you serious?
On certain carriers, I won't say that's across the board, but on some carriers, yes.
I gotta see
give
what
a
I did
waiting
last
period.
week. I mean,
Because
I don't know if I read it.
They want you to be alive, right?
They do want you to be alive.
They can't be insuring people who's running red lights every time. You know,
Wow.
you can't. You're a risk. You're a liability.
But they should just have a higher premium to pay or something like that.
That could be the case, but every situation is different. Like I said, certain carriers, certain states, everybody has their own rules, you know. But these are the things that you have to be thinking about, right? And these are the things you really have to be considering when you say, "I'm going to wait to get life insurance," because when you wait, now you're going to pay $15 or $20 more per month because you ran a red light last month. You know, so those are the things, and that's something that's life, right? People do that by accident, like you said. It wasn't my fault. It wasn't my fault. The camera caught me. You know, no, it's not. If the I'm just kidding. If the camera catches you, that doesn't get you a problem.
Okay.
It's when the police goes boop boop and they come and knock on your door and tell you to roll your window down. If they pull you over, that's different.
Jean, you didn't know that, did you? I didn't know any of that.
Yes, those are all a part of the thing. Now, I have a question for y'all. Where did you learn about money?
What did we learn about money?
Where did you learn about money before today? Where did you learn about money, or even insurance or anything else?
I say my family in school. Like when I was in school, we had like a little finance class or something like that. But other than that, it would have been my family, or I just watched, my friends. And as we, just started talking about once we started getting older. But before then, it was my mom. But then once you start getting older, because that's when people start talking about it. You don't hear that when you're like 14, 15, 20 years old. Everybody's partying at 20, 20. But the last thing they're talking about is life insurance. And then before you know it, you're 40, 50 years old. And it's like, now what can I do?
Yeah. And that's exactly what the problem is, right? Most people are not talking about money. They're not learning about it. They don't have a class in high school. That's where it should start.
I took accounting in school. I took business management. I went from business accounting to business management, real estate. I had
that's funny because I went to business school and I really don't remember having any personal finance classes in business school. Like, you learn about, you learn about accounting, you learn how to balance the books, you learn all those things. But when they don't talk about debt. They don't talk about, you don't learn about those things that are really like critical for you to grow as a person with your finances. And so, it's horrible the way things happen. You learn from your mistakes. And then, so that's what's happening to people. They learn from their mistakes, and it's 20 and 30s. They're making all their mistakes. And in their 40s, they're like, okay, let me try to figure this out. I want to retire at some point. Right. And by then you're already 20 years
I started late.
So, you start late, exactly.
By then, you need an attorney. By then, you need a debt attorney. Like, okay, for everything I did in my 20s and 30s, let me start figuring out how to get out of debt first.
We help people with that too, just so you know.
Oh, what do you do? What do you do with that? Because I want our people to come in and join you on at least a Zoom call. So everybody, if you all did not see it, Shawnee's information was already dropped in the chat, her IG. So go to her IG and you can DM her and set up. And these are free informational sessions. What about debt do you do?
So with debt, we partner with a debt settlement, debt mediator, and they basically will go on your behalf and settle with your creditors. They'll make an attempt to work with your creditors to get you a lower payment, pay off your debt in a shorter period of time. And it's a great tool, especially for people who just want to get rid of it. They want to get over it. They want to move on with their lives, right? And that debt has been like a ball and chain. So it's something that, we definitely have been able to help a lot of people with. One of the first clients that I helped, she settled over $100,000 worth of credit card debt. So that she was able to go from making a payment of $1,400 a month. That's a mortgage. She was doing that on credit cards. And now she was able to bring that payment down and be almost done paying off this huge debt next year. So that was almost 3 years of paying off debt. And now she's done, because she was able to settle. So it's another service that we offer. We are very comprehensive. So we offer, like I said, when we do our financial lifestyle strategy, because we can't help anybody without knowing where they're starting from. And so we definitely try to get all of the information from them about their finances, their goals. What do they want to achieve? How can we help them get there? And once we're able to help them with all these different little things, we get that information. We're able to help them with all these different areas.
Right. I'm so glad you said that because we know that's a major part. And Sonny, coming out of this again, COVID, people are just
Apologies, I'm
now,
having some technical difficulties over
we
here, but
see
we're back.
Oh man.
just like people are talking about, the unemployment, they extended it, but then people are still worried about what do I do after unemployment? And
Mhm.
all through last year, we know how many people got in debt. So this is something you have got to get in touch with this woman right here.
Yes.
This is something that she can help you with. She is
Yes, and it is
good
depending
people.
on the
This-
state that they're in, but we can
Yeah.
help in a lot of different places. Student loan as well is another area.
Oh,
But
that.
at the end of the day, the most important thing that you can do for yourself is to earn additional income. And we
Yeah.
offer a huge opportunity there. So, I always like to add that to the conversation because a lot of times people just don't know where to start. How can I make more money? But I got kids. Well, you could do it from home. You don't have to leave your home. You can do it right from your computer. You can in most states, you can take the licensing course and the exam online. So there's no reason not to do it, and then you'll be helping people in your own community.
That's something that I was really interested in looking into doing, because in June 2015, I got into a car accident with a drunk driver. I had 4 back surgeries since, so I've been home. So I'm basically on Social Security disability, and I make side income from doing a bunch of other things. But I was considering something like that to do as a work from home type of situation.
Yeah.
So, I
can give you some more information about that for sure, Gene. We'll connect after the call, and then I'll get you some more information. You can see if it'll be a good fit for you. But you and anybody else who's listening, because at the end of the day, like I said, it's like that. You have a need to fill. There's a void. How can we help you fill it? If you find value in what we do, then that means you can share it with other people. And there's a lot of people, and I'm sure your network, your friends, your family, who needs to hear it. So as opposed to just holding it in, keeping it to yourself, share it.
That's not cool. That's why we're here. That's why we do what we do.
Exactly.
That's exactly why we do what we do. That's why we're here.
100%. Yeah. That's what we do.
And I feel like, I can think of people, right? I think almost every friend of mine, would want to know, even if they have, which I do have a lot that have life insurance policies, a lot of them are from the job. And people are working the job, and what they're just looking at is, I'm 4 or 5 years from retirement, and so I don't really want to get anything else. I'm almost retired. Like everybody, by the time you get that age retirement, you just want to be done and things like that. And they don't necessarily see the value in having multiple policies, but I think it's because they just don't have the information. They don't know all of this stuff we learned today is phenomenal. People have gotten a huge chunk of information, for free, where they can make better informed decisions. And that Zoom call that you do, 2 or 3 times a week or whenever you do it, for people to get on there and just free information and to learn about becoming, I don't know, do you call it an affiliate or whatever, for them to make, money as an agent?
They become a life insurance agent. And we do also have referral partners. So if they don't necessarily want to be on the platform and doing all of this and engage in the whole system of talking to all the people, but they know people and they want to help people, they can be a partner where they'll, be able to help people, but they don't have to do all of the work. And so, we have different ways that you can partner with us. But like you said, the job insurance is something that people don't realize. When you're at the job, that's when you have the most coverage. Once you retire, the coverage changes. So even if you had a full policy, 100,000, 150,000, 3 times your salary, whatever it is, the minute you retire, those benefits change. The minute you leave that job, those benefits change. And people don't realize that. That's a huge problem, because at the end of the day, when they leave, they think, oh, I'm leaving with my 300,000. No, ma'am, you only have 50.
No, oh my gosh. And that's got to be devastating. And then to go through all those years and not know, and then think, and then, that's when people beat yourself up. And we don't want you to beat yourself up, but that's when people beat themselves up. Like, I could have done all of this, and had I just known. And doesn't it always boil down to a lack of information? That's all it is, just a lack of information.
Yeah. So I'm glad we had this chance today to speak and really get information out to the people And I'm
Yes.
really excited that you guys invited me. I'm really happy to be here. So thanks again.
Yes, this was a dope show. It's it reminds me of something the Bible says. It says, "My people suffer because of lack of knowledge," and without knowledge, we will suffer. So
You will
it's
perish.
very important for us to do our homework and learn as much as we can,
Gotta do that.
and not only to learn as much as we can, but to teach more people as well. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like, and to share what
Yes.
we learn. So, and that's one of the things, like in our community that we need more of. We need more people talking, more people expressing, like things that they go through, because it's just like the testimony. When we, like when you go through something and you get over it, if you tell the story, you'll be able to help somebody else. And a lot of
Exactly.
times when we go through things, we're too embarrassed to share that we went through something. So, like when it comes to this stuff, it's very important for us to learn, share, and, make sure that we, leave something for our younger generations as
Yes.
well,
That's
So,
important. That's important.
yeah. So we want to thank you so much, Miss Lubin Holder.
Thank
Sonny,
you for having me.
to
Sonny
everyone
Lubin
here.
Holder in the
Yeah.
building.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes.
So hopefully you'll have me
we
back. I
appreciate
would
you.
love to
Yeah,
come back.
absolutely. We're
Anytime.
gonna do part 1, part
Anytime.
2, part
Yes.
3.
And I'll have
We're
like
gonna talk
70
about all
questions each
different.
time. Yes.
Exactly. We're gonna
Yes.
talk about a million different financial things, and we're gonna keep it going.
Yeah, we'll
I
keep it
really look
going. I look
forward to
forward
having
to
you
it.
back. Absolutely.
All right.
So
So we can tell you what we did, and then I'm gonna need some more advice. I'm serious, G. Yes.
yeah. No, I'm gonna jump at DMs right after we finish. Like, it's on.
What about the agent
You
program
should-
now? Can you tell me about that?
You shouldn't have told me about it, because now I'm going to be all over it.
Go ahead, get in there, and then we'll
I need
connect.
several policies.
All right,
Yes.
that's what's up. All right, so that's a wrap, y'all. We thank y'all so much for watching, all the listeners, all the people, watching on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, wherever you're watching it, however you get it. We appreciate y'all. And again, I just got to say one more thing. That's on everything. Show is over. Thank y'all so much on everything.
Love it.
See y'all later.